Hey everyone, it is now July. We are more than halfway through the year, so I figured I should do a top 10 of the year so far. I don't know how spoilery I'm going to get with these, so I'm just going to put out a general spoiler alert. You've been warned. Starting off, number 10 is Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. Look, this is not my favorite Mission Impossible movie. It's not even in the top half of my ranking. But it's still a damn good movie.
Mark the turn.
Aye, sir. My rudder is right full.
Godspeed, mister.
I think my biggest complaints are that there are times when it feels like it's a little full of itself, and also the biplane chase at the end feels a little too samesies to the helicopter chase at the end of Fallout. It's still awesome, and it's not exactly the same. It's different enough, but the similarities are definitely obvious. This is a satisfying conclusion to the story, and they have mentioned that the franchise is not over, just Ethan Hunt's story, so I am interested to see where they go next. As with the other movies, there is some solid humor throughout, even with all the drama. Like the fact that Paris, who survived the previous movie and is now on their side, is a trained killer. So Benji's injured and Grace is over there, she has to do something else, so Paris is the one who has to, help him. And when he gives her the look, I need you to help me, she's just like, I kill people. It's so funny. And I will say, much like Avengers Endgame, there was a character who I expected to survive who died, and there's a character I expected to die who survived. So, good keeping me guessing. Score is 4 out of 5. Number 9 is Final Destination: Bloodlines. This is probably the best of the franchise. I don't know. I mean, I know it was number 1 in my ranking, but it's like this one and 5 keep going back and forth. But for now, this one is number 1.
So, which one of you is next?
Iris said that you'd found somebody who stopped death and survived.
Yes.
And how do we do that?
There are only 2 ways. By killing or by dying. If you take a life, you get the time that person had left.
What? No, I'm not gonna kill someone.
Maybe we should let the guy finish.
Then to truly break the cycle, you have to die.
This is just not a return to form, because 5 was a return to form, and then this is just after a long gap, but this is a continuation of that return to form. We get characters who you actually empathize with and care about, like they have actual depth. Even the annoying little brother is more than just an annoying little brother. There are some bits where it's really obvious they shot on a green screen, and for some of them, I don't know why. What was the point? The deaths are great, there are plenty of awesome fake-outs. I think my favorite is the moment when our protagonist, goes through and just points out, a potential way that someone could die. And then later, we see someone die in that exact fashion, but it's in the background as these other people are walking away, and they're, turned to see it happening. It's so goddamn funny. My score is 4 out of 5. Number 8 is Deep Cover. This is one where I didn't even see a trailer. I just saw it on streaming, and as I was scrolling through looking for something to watch, it's like, oh, this looks good. What are the reviews saying? Oh, damn. And it got really good reviews. So I was like, okay, I'll give it a watch. And it was so funny. So this movie is about improv comedians / actors who are hired by the British police for help with a low-level sting. And things escalate from there when some of them refuse to break character.
Okay, so this is just another round of improv, yes? So remember the fundamentals? Yes, and.
What character are you bringing in?
I don't think we need to bring in characters.
Maybe a single mum desperate because she can't afford a Marlboro Reds.
Sure.
And I'm your brother.
Right.
In-law. A cobbler who got addicted to the shoe glue and lost it all on the back streets of Manchester.
That got dark.
That's cobbling. What about you, Hugh? Any accents up your sleeve?
Hey up, you fucking pillow!
I think just leave it.
I
you know?
agree. I'm just
Listen, don't. Relax. Just follow my lead, okay? Title, easiest 200 quid ever.
It's so goddamn funny. We have Bryce Dallas Howard and Orlando Bloom and Nate from Ted Lasso as these three comedians / actors. They're just so effortlessly funny. And then we also have our supporting cast consisting of Paddy Considine. We have Ian McShane putting on what I think is a Scottish accent. It might be Irish, but given that he is Scottish, I think it's probably Scottish. Sonoya Mizuno, who was the other android in Ex Machina. And Sean Bean and a bunch of others. They are all doing their part. They are all a lot of fun to watch. It is very appropriate that a movie where the main characters are improv comedians spends so much time yes-anding its own plot. In the hands of less talented writers, it would feel like a mess, but Derek Connolly, Colin Trevorrow, Ben Ashenden, and Alexander Owen, they pull it off surprisingly well. I don't want to give too much away, but this movie's a blast. My score is 4 out of 5. Number 7 is Predator: Killer of Killers. After Prey and this, I am really excited to see what Dan Trachtenberg has in store for Predator: Badlands. Because this movie is a blast. Most of the Predator designs are fine. The big one, I don't know, it's thematically appropriate, because it's fighting Vikings, and historically speaking, Vikings were like the biggest people on Earth. But even still, I don't know, just not the best design. But it's still decent, at least. However, I do love its weapon. The weapon is awesome. That's not the problem. It's just, I don't know. It's hard to put into words. This is an anthology with a spin. Not exactly a twist, but a spin. And I won't give it away, but you should absolutely watch it. We do get to see a Predator specialized to each of our protagonists. So the first one is this big, muscle-bound Predator going after the Vikings. The second one is like this ultimate ninja. Is like the ninja Predator, where, I mean, they can all turn invisible, but this one actually like fully emphasizes the stealth side of things. And it's awesome. And then the third one is the first Predator we've seen who doesn't go for the personal kill and instead is a dogfighter. But instead of like shooting people down, fires like little spikes with chains that rip the engines out of their planes, which I guess is the trophies he takes in place of skulls, which is pretty awesome. Also, apparently he's a pirate Predator, because he's got, I don't know, it's like an eye patch, or I think it's something that helps him with flying, like a monocle, or some kind of tech thing. It's kind of cool. My score is 4 out of 5. Number 6 is Companion. There are so many movies that have an awesome premise and get off to a great start, and then things take a turn near the third act, and they take a turn for the worse. Lower down on this list is Hard Eyes, which had the same problem. I liked the ending of Hard Eyes, but I also feel like there was an unnecessary wrinkle that was added, and the movie would have been better off without it. This movie doesn't do that. This movie follows through. Everything feels like it was the right decision in terms of plot progression, both in and out of universe. Sophie Thatcher is absolutely delightful. She fucking sells everything. She is such an engaging lead.
Iris, wake up.
Be lost without you.
Hey, it's okay. You're okay. You're okay. I'm here. Hey, listen to me.
Why are my hands tied? Why are my hands tied?
We didn't have a choice. You murdered Sergei. You remember?
No. It was self-defense. He was gonna kill me. You gotta believe me.
No, I believe you, Iris. I mean, you couldn't lie to me even if you wanted to. It's, part of your programming.
Programming? What the hell are you talking about?
Okay, sorry, there's just no delicate way to say this, so, I'm just gonna rip the Band-Aid right off. You're a robot. A robot. More specifically, you're a companion robot.
Jack Quaid is just so good at switching between likable and unlikable when he needs to. And the rest of the cast is solid. Again, I don't want to give too much away, but there are twists and turns here. Obviously, everyone knows that Iris is a sex bot who kind of gains some sort of self-control. And I won't go into too much, but things progress from there. It is an absolute delight. My score is 4.5 out of 5. Number 5 is Ballerina. It says something that, by regular action standards, this movie is fantastic, and by John Wick standards, it is middling at best. But that just goes to show how much the franchise raised the bar. My one problem is that there's kind of a continuity snarl of, okay, well, first of all, when did this take place? Because the director doesn't have her stigmata wounds from Chapter 3. So, okay. And then John is here, but, like, when did he have time for this? Whatever. Anywho, other than that, I fucking love this. Ana de Armas, ever since she had, like, her 10 minutes in No Time to Die, I've been hoping for something like this, and mwah, she absolutely delivers. And hey, it turns out what Len Wiseman can make good movies. Okay, I'm being a little harsh on him. He did make Live Free or Die Hard, which is a good movie. But also, to me, he'll always be the director of Underworld, and let's be honest, that movie is not great. The score is bumpin', I think is the right word. The action is the usual level of great we've come to expect from the franchise. Especially, once again, they get creative. We get a scene where she goes to an armorer to get guns, and they're ambushed mid-conversation. And because he's actually good at what he does, he knows that you never store loaded weapons.
If any of you rat brains knew anything about firearms, you would know that you never store loaded weapons.
So when she's running around trying to find something to defend herself, the only weapons she has that she can actually use are
Grenades.
And she makes very good use of them. And then later, we get not just a flamethrower, we get a flamethrower duel. Who comes up with this shit? Oh wait, that's right, stunt people. My score is 4.5 out of 5. Number 4 is K-pop Demon Hunters. Benefits of having a roommate who works at a movie theater, I got to see this on the big screen. And, whoo boy, this shit is delightful. Now, granted, I saw this after I saw a bunch of out-of-context shit about people gushing about it on Tumblr, and it lived up to that.
Yeah, this plane's trashed.
Okay, let's do this.
You could tell this is from the same animation company of the Spider-Verse movies, because it definitely feels a little bit like those, but also is distinct enough to not just be, oh, it's Spider-Verse animation. No, it has its own style, and I love it for that. The animation is gorgeous, and there are some actual names that I know. As soon as I heard the villain's name, I knew he sounded familiar, and that's because it's Lee Byung-hun, I really hope I said that, of the Magnificent Seven remake fame and the first 2 live-action G.I. Joe movies. He was in Squid Game, he was the T-1000 in Terminator Genesis. And say what you will about that movie, but there's nothing wrong with his performance. He was in Red 2, and he was in The Good, the Bad, the Weird, which I would say is his best performance. His best live-action performance that I've seen. We also have Daniel Dae Kim in a minor role. We have Ken Jeong as Bobby, their manager. I love that this movie is simultaneously a love letter to and deconstruction of just K-pop in general. I'm not really big into K-pop. I like it. I don't actively listen to it, but like if it comes on the radio, I'm not going to turn it off. It's like, I don't know. I like it, but I don't actively seek it out. And yet, this movie is an absolute delight. We get genuinely good humor, genuine stakes. This movie, the writers really understand the mix of comedy and drama. They know when to tell a joke and when not to tell a joke. And it works wonderfully. And it is also my headcanon that this movie takes place in the same universe as Sinners, because magic singing. And that is all we're going to say about it. My score is 4.5 out of 5. Number 3 is Thunderbolts. This movie and K-pop Demon Hunters are like neck and neck, but on the day I'm recording this, Thunderbolts is higher, so that's what we're going with. Goddamn. First of all, thank you for bringing back Ghost. She is hands down the best Ant-Man villain. Yeah, 7 years later, Hannah John Kamen slides right back into this character, understands her. I will say, I think my one problem with this movie, there was one character who really got the short end of the stick. However, in context, given everything that was happening in that moment, it makes sense. Aside from that, goddamn, this is the best MCU movie since Deadpool and Wolverine, at least. Possibly even better than that. I don't know. My MCU ranking is a mess right now. Goddamn! Finally, an MCU movie that doesn't feel the need to punctuate every dramatic moment with a joke. It still does it, because sometimes it's okay. Sometimes it's fun. But when you always do it, you ruin it. And this movie finally understands that. And there are dramatic moments that are left uninterrupted. No comedy. And they work.
There's something wrong with me. An emptiness. I thought it started when my sister died, but Now it feels like something bigger. Just a void. Or maybe I'm just bored.
The parallel between Yelena's intro and when she sees the void approaching. Oh boy! Hey writers, are you okay? Do you need a hug? 'Cause, damn. And for those of you who come to these movies for the comedy, Red Guardian is back, and he is the primary source of comedy, but there's other comedy as well, just in the fact that these people who don't know each other and don't really like each other have to work together. It's a formula that's been done before, but it's still done very, very well here. My score is 4.5 out of 5. Number 2 is The Accountant 2. There are movies that I have ranked lower that are probably better movies than this one, but I have it at number 2 because of what it means to me. The First Accountant, for as great as its portrayal of autism is, it has some issues. The plot leaves a bit to be desired, the pacing is a little off. This movie course corrects and actually improves in those regards. It takes the things that movie did well, and it does them just as well, if not better, and it also takes the things that we didn't do well, and it does them well. So just big improvement overall. And Ben Affleck and Jon Bernthal, considering Jon Bernthal was not nearly as famous in 2016 as he is now, casting him as Ben Affleck's brother, yeah, great casting, and I'm so glad they got him back. They have such wonderful sibling chemistry. Like, goddamn. Sorry. There's a scene where they're sitting in a motel room waiting for 3 prostitutes to arrive. It makes sense in context. And Braxton starts being the annoying younger sibling and repeating stuff.
My time's money, right?
Yes, I've heard that.
And I'll send you an invoice.
Okay, fair.
See how fair you think it is when you get the bill there, hotshot?
Oh, it's okay. I'm sure I can afford it.
I'm sure I can afford it.
Braxton.
Braxton.
Braxton, don't repeat me.
Braxton, don't repeat me.
Braxton. You know I don't like Braxton. I'm asking you nicely.
Braxton, I really...
That's right.
It reminded me so much of just when I was younger. And I mean, I still do this, but I did it more when I was younger. And I would do, to my sister, I would do the, I'm not touching you, I'm not touching you, you can't get mad, I'm not touching you. Just because her reactions were priceless. Granted, I am the older sibling, but still, it's shit the siblings do. Continuing the trend from the first movie, there are some good moments of realism here. Like during the final shootout, Braxton breaks a mook's neck, but it's actually more realistic because instead of just doing the neck twist, which is really, really, really hard to do, apparently, which makes sense, the neck is pretty strong. This guy's like on his back with nothing supporting his head. His back is like on a platform, it's like a few inches off the ground, and nothing's holding his head up. So Braxton just curb stomps this guy and snaps his neck. It's like, yes, that's actually feasible because your legs are like considerably stronger than your arms. And just little things like that that really help elevate these movies. And once again, like in the first movie, Ben Affleck's portrayal of autism is just mwah. Okay, so something that I talked about in my video about portrayals of autism was Justine being recast between movies. And I have since learned the reason why. It's because the first movie was criticized for having autistic characters, but not having autistic actors. Now, you can't recast the lead, because you can't replace Ben Affleck. I mean, even if you could find someone who looks like him, what are the odds they're as good an actor? So, they decided to recast Justine. And so they put out a casting call specifically asking for neurotypical actors, and Alison Robertson got the part. And she does a wonderful job. The fact that she is clearly younger than Allison Wright does raise questions about how old Justine is supposed to be, but considering the flashbacks from the first movie, it's assumed she's around the same age as Christian. Although, as a continuity nod, Allison Wright still provides the voice of the character, kind of, in that, okay, the character is mute, but she talks using a text-to-speech program, And Allison Wright provides the voice of that text-to-speech program in the first movie and in this one. So she's still technically the voice of the character. She just has a different physical actress now. And she does a wonderful job. And also I love that we're expanding the mental health awareness portrayal in this movie to include acquired savant syndrome, which is a real thing. I actually had to look it up after the movie, but it is a real thing. And like they said in the movie, it is so rare that some people doubt it exists. But where someone has a traumatic brain injury and in the process of healing, their brain essentially rewires itself and they gain these new skills that they never had before. My score is 4.5 out of 5. Alright, now before we move on to number 1, here are some honorable mentions. Death of a Unicorn. If the trailers didn't convince you to see this movie, there's nothing I can say that will, because the trailers do a good job of selling it, and it's more or less what you would expect based on that. Hard Eyes. Like I said earlier, in spite of my issues with the third act, this is still a damn good movie. It's more rom-com than slasher, but it does a really good job of blending the two. Den of Thieves 2, Pantera. I like the first Den of Thieves, but this one is definitely a big step up in that the characters actually develop. As good as the first movie is, none of the characters change in any meaningful way. Jurassic World Rebirth. I just talked about this in my Jurassic Park ranking. Easily the best Jurassic movie of the 21st century. And definitely a welcome addition to Gareth Edwards' filmography. Also, they have to hunt a Mosasaurus. Come on, people, this shit is awesome. Heads of State. Look, I'm sorry, this is exactly the kind of nonsense I love to watch. This movie is a popcorn movie, and it knows that, and it's not trying to be anything else, and it does it very, very well. Finally, my number 1 is Sinners, because what else was it gonna be? Goddamn. After I saw this movie, I went back and I watched the only Ryan Coogler movie I hadn't seen, which was Fruitvale Station. And even after seeing that, I think that Sinners is his best work. I love Creed and I love both Black Panther movies, and Fruitvale Station was heartbreaking, but Sinners is just that much better. This is a masterclass in filmmaking. This movie should be studied for years to come. The fact that this movie is about the history of black music, primarily. There are other themes as well, but that's the main thing. And there are multiple sequences of people singing and performing music, and among all that, they managed to slide in an Irish jig. And it ended up being one of them, like, probably the second most memorable sequence of the movie. Right after I Lied to You.
Blues. It wasn't forced on us like that religion. No, sir. We brought this with us from home. It's magic what we do. It's sacred. It's big.
There are legends of people born with the gift of making music so true it can pierce the veil between life and death, conjuring spirits from the past and the future.
Somebody take me in your arms tonight. Somebody take me.
Goddamn. This movie, it reminds me of From Dusk Till Dawn. Not in like character or tone or anything like that, but just because it starts off as just developing these human characters and then vampires show up. And it's more than just the usual developing doomed characters. No, this is actually like, this is their story, and their story is interrupted by vampires. It doesn't feel abrupt. It feels earned, and it works. My score is 5 out of 5. Hey everyone, what are your favorites of the year so far? Let me know that in the comments. Like and subscribe and all that. If you don't like the video, tell me why, and try to be constructive. And then subscribe anyway. You'll be notified when I upload a new video, watch that, and tell me why that one sucks. Or why it doesn't. Or both. That's all for now. Stay safe in these crazy times.